Good morning. So, driving to work again. I know, another drive. Just what you wanted, right? So, I will oblige you with yet another drive with Jackie. So, wet hair and all. Dear. Wet hair. So, got the couch running. We still have some work to do on that couch. There's some green spill and other technical terms. I still need to get I got the key light in the wrong place and the fill light doesn't have an extension cord. We'll get there. And I need to do some more editing and not be so lazy. So my transitions are there and other terminology. Jargon. So, let's see. So if we're driving to work, let's think of something to talk about. I know you guys like to hear about me, so doesn't everyone? I guess I will oblige you with something. Let's see. One of the things that, and this would be helpful too, it's about me, but it's helpful, that is difficult for most of us is just getting out there and being ourselves and taking those first steps towards full-time. And we're so scared of full-time. How are we ever going to achieve full-time? Oh my God, how am I going to do that? That's crazy. I can't even imagine it. I want to, and I see the girls at group, and I'm so, what do I do? We've all been there. I live in a very accepting place. Northern California, come on. Everyone's just fine. But you're probably fine for the most part. People don't care. They don't pay attention. They're not watching you. And as long as you're not doing the deer in the headlights routine, oh my gosh, put your shoulders down, stand up, act like you always do, and go do whatever you're doing. It's fine. Nobody pays attention. If they do, if they say anything, don't get all upset about it. If they want to correct a pronoun, correct a pronoun. Do whatever you want until they get it. But just be relaxed, be yourself, and don't worry about it. You're going to have to do it. I guess I started out going to group. So I went to group, dressed, and for me that just meant t-shirt, jeans, and a sweater hoodie from the women's department. Granted, it is not a lot different, but it is who I am, Okay, so I'm kind of tomboy, so what? So is a lot of girls. So are all the women in my family, my mother, my sister, my aunt. We're all, this is it. It's the uniform. So I fit in, and I feel comfortable with myself in that fashion, so that's how I dress. Have I been in a dress? Yeah. And I rocked it, so, I'll share that with you someday. Maybe if I lose a bet, I'll have to wear the dress on the couch or something. And I promise I won't throw the bet on purpose. We went to a murder mystery dinner theater thing, and I told my friend, oh God, if we go, just, get townspeople or something, overalls, a flannel, it's all easy. And they agreed, and I was like, okay, that's great. Let's just do it. Yeah, it sounds good. That sounds like fun. Let's go. And so she calls me up and says, well, everyone else is going, and so-and-so is going, and so-and-so is going, and then these people from the group are going, and by the way, we're debutantes. What do you mean? What does that mean, debutantes? What does that mean? And she said, poop skirts and little hats, little gloves. I'm like, I always said I would never wear a dress ever, just like my sister. Well, that's not true. She wore a wedding dress to her wedding. So, guess what happened? So we went and ended up playing dress up in somebody else's closet for hours. I was having entirely too much fun, and realized I wasn't quite so frightened of a dress. And some of them actually looked really good, and I thought, wow, that makes me feel nice, so what the heck. And then there was this one cocktail dress and a black shawl, and I was like, oh, I am awesome, oh my gosh, I fit in this so nice, like I have a figure, and I do have a modest little, something going on. Not exactly hourglassy, but there's a little something. My abdominal muscles are all completely atrophied, so I do have a little bit of a slender waist right in the center, and my hips were splayed out after a surgery, so I do have kind of some hips, and fat redistribution is working for me a little, and so it's accentuating what little I've got and giving me, kind of a female shape, so thank goodness, right? So I'm jamming myself in this dress, which, and I was a little heavier. Got myself in there, and I took a picture or two, and I thought, wow, this doesn't look bad. Let's do this thing, And we ended up going, and I had a really good time. Nobody gave me any hassle whatsoever, and there were other people dressed in different gender ways. There were some girls who did some really campy cowboys, with, I don't know, some gray something smudged all over their face in very obvious fashion. And then there was, quite a few people, especially people from like the group that I hang with and the club and some of my friends. They were really surprised to see me and then to realize it was me. And they're like, oh my goodness, Jackie, And I felt really nice. I was really having a good time. And we got some pictures back later, and I realized when I was there for one of the pictures, I have cleavage, and I had no idea that was going to be happening because it was a little low cut. And, 2 years of estrogen, well, actually at that point, I don't know, a year and a half or something. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. I've got cleavage. That's, wow, okay. Not something I had envisioned, and it was only a little bit, but it was clearly there. And I was just sitting there next to a friend, and wow, I looked really good, aside from my face. My face is okay. That's why there's surgery. So my face will eventually, be good enough, and I'm happy with that. So that was the theme. Yeah, I wore a dress. But I had a good time. It was really, really fun. So, what more could one want at that point? You just do what you need to do and go with it. And you can have a good time doing it. There came a point where I was sick of just going to group dressed and thought, why am I doing just this? So I went to work and didn't really even cause a stir. People were like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And after a while, it just became normal, and people just expect that, and the exposure, the constant exposure, just was all they needed to be able to move forward with the idea of accepting me that way. Nobody gave me any grief. There was no problems. I'd come out at work previous to that. Everyone, said, oh yeah, that's fine, don't worry about it. And it was true. All my worries were for naught. Eventually all works out. I think we're our own worst enemies initially. But we settle down and get into a groove, and then it's fine. And then my goodness, I would not put my boy clothes on. In fact, I've got 2 boxes I need to donate. And then I need to go get some more t-shirts and stuff. One of the places I like to get t-shirts is Michael's, the craft store. So Michael's craft store has a lot of different colored t-shirts that you can do for screen printing. And they have a really good deal. Sometimes it's like, 2 t-shirts for $7. And that's a screaming deal for t-shirts in the women's department. And this is one of them, V-neck. I think it's Gildan or something. Good cotton t-shirt. I wish they had, 3/4 length sleeves or something. The little cap sleeves aren't my favorite, but they work, and I don't really care. So I should go back and get some more. I need some. I need a green one. I need some different colors. But that was an easy choice. And then if you don't want to spend a ton of money, $50 on jeans. Oh my gosh, $50 for jeans. So I went on eBay and I figured out, I could buy a few things and figure out my size. So I'm 16 long, and that varies from manufacturer to manufacturer and type of clothing to type of clothing. If you go to Avenue or something, oh my gosh, they're 16 long is like what giant is this for? So you have to really figure things out. And eBay is an easy way to try on some used clothing. It's been pre-loved. Jeans are easy. My favorites are Lee Ryder jeans because they're the full height, waist, and they're mom jeans, but they're comfortable and I love them. So fits my whole thing. Like, I don't know why I don't deserve the title of mom. I really don't. I haven't put in the effort, time, heartache, all of that. But for whatever reason, I kind of identify that direction. I don't know if you'd call me a trans mom. I don't know. There was a poor little kid. We were watching the Super Bowl, and one of the little kids was messing with the dog, jammed his face near the dog, and got a little nip on the ear, just a tiny little thing. And he was so upset. He must have been 5 or 6 years old. So upset. And poor little guy. And I felt terrible for him. And only the dads were around, and the moms were out doing something else. And I realized, oh my gosh, I can't let this poor little kid, have nothing but the dads here trying to bandage his ear and, whack him around with a cotton ball with alcohol on it, rubbing alcohol. Oh, poor little kid, And before I knew what I was doing, I was up off that couch, hugging that little kid, and he's holding my hand, I said, "You're all right, honey, are you okay? It's going to be fine, just hug Jackie. You want to hug Jackie?" And he's nodding his head, yes. And he's hugging me, and the guys are doing their thing, cleaning up his ear, and I said, it's okay, baby. Kissed him on his little head, and it was so, I don't know, maybe it's the hormones, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I've always been that way. I don't know. I don't know. But it was the right thing to do, and I asked him a few times even after, and he was being so brave, he was a good little guy. I asked him later, are you all right? Do you want to let go now, or you would still want me to hug you? And he's nodding his head, yes, And that happened a few more times, and I've got one good leg, so I'm just trying to do my best to stand there and hug this poor child. And eventually, he seemed like he was doing better, and he said, "Are you better now? You want to go sit down on the couch?" And he turned around and grabs me and just holds me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, more hugs. That's fine." So we did that for a little bit, and then he decided he was okay, and he took off. And by that time, the moms were back, and they had seen what had happened, and one of them came over and said, "Geez, Jackie, thanks for stepping in while we were out, And I said, "Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just did its own thing. It just kind of was its own deal. It just happened." And she just kind of looked at me and smiled. And we both knew what that meant. Like, yeah, this is just you, This is just who you are. And I guess that's true. Maybe the hormones have given me some, massive empathy for little children. I don't know, but I was always very concerned about anything going on with my children. I don't know if I reacted quite that way every time, but it was an interesting thing to have that happen. So it just happened. Wrapping everything up, if you're considering going full-time, or at least starting a little something where you can get some clothes or whatever, just do whatever fits you. You really do not have to do something extraordinary. You do not have to over-feminize yourself in any fashion unless you really want to, unless that is exactly what you want. At the end of the day, just remember not to be so twitchy when you go out. Don't be the deer in the headlights. Just go about your business and don't worry. Don't over-scrutinize and don't stare at everybody. Just do what you always do and get your stuff done. I used to go to the grocery store and worry about what everyone saw. And there was a cashier that gave me grief once, and she was just being a turkey. And I just left feeling kind of crummy, and then realized that's her problem, not mine. I don't have to own whatever that is, that's on her. She can be that way, and I don't have to worry about it, because there's going to come a day I'm going to go in this grocery store, I'm going to go through her checkout line, and she will have no clue. She's going to chit chat with me, and she's going to blah 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 with me, and you never know. That could be tomorrow, really, to be honest. In fact, that kind of happened to another degree. I'd gone to one of the box stores that I like, and at the checkout, I got the same girl I always got, and I realized I hadn't talked to her in 8 months or something. And the last time I talked to her, I was wearing a purple t-shirt, boy mode, hair slicked back, So I thought, we had this odd conversation every time we talked. For whatever reason, we got talking about things, and she's not real pleased with going out with boys because they kind of suck. And so I had said something like, "Oh, you're the girl that's smart enough to not bother with boys," or something like this, some weird comment. But it was something that we talked about like the last 3 times that we saw each other. So I went through the checkout line and realized, I wonder if I say that, if she'll figure it out. And so I said, "Hey, aren't you the girl that doesn't, give boys the time of day?" And she's like, "Huh?" I said, "Yeah, you're that really smart girl that doesn't mess around with the nasty boys, huh?" And she thought about it, and she says, "Oh, I guess so." And I said, "So, do you remember me?" And she looked at me, and she says, "God, honestly, I don't remember you. I'm sorry." And I'm thinking, oh dear, she really doesn't. And I thought for sure that would out me in a heartbeat, but it didn't. It didn't out me. And I thought, oh my goodness, now do I have to out myself or what? And so I got out my phone and I started flipping through the pictures. And before I left, I turned and I said, "So, you remember what I said, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, that sounds familiar." I said, and I had my phone, I said, "Do you remember this guy?" And she looked at it, and she looked at me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, oh my goodness, huh? See you next time. Bye. And I turned and I walked out. And I knew she stood there with her mouth open, like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. Oh. And honestly, I guess I need to show you the picture. Not today. It's embarrassing. But yeah, she didn't know. She had no clue whatsoever. So that's going to happen for you as well. You're going to get there. Just be brave, and then eventually you won't have to be brave at all. And then somebody will be saying, "Oh my goodness, I wish I could do what you do." Wow, what a weirdness. So wrapping it all up, just be yourself. That's the key. Know that I'm here for you and I care. And it really is my focus to make sure that there's support out there for you. And if you need the support, go get the support. It's silly to think that you would go through this on your own and never receive the support. First, go get yourself a therapist if you have a therapist. Keep those dates and be as honest as you can be, and have an open mind. Don't hold back. That's what your therapist is there for. And on top of that, know there are resources like transgenderpulse.com. They have gender resources pages for therapists, for suicide hotlines, that sort of thing. Use them if you need them, by all means. Self-harm is something that is all too common. Nearly 50% of trans people attempt suicide, and it's a horrifying thought. Why this is occurring, I don't know. Well, I do, because I had those dark thoughts too. So we need to do better. We need to support one another. And we're in a time when things are getting better, even though we face a lot of challenges on a regular basis. So use the resources where you can. Know that I care, and I'm going to keep sharing and giving you all the clues that I can along the way of how I'm coping. What did I do? How did I get here? Where am I going? And as I go along, you'll see all of the things that are going on through the surgeries, and know that one can come from one place and get to another. And it is possible, and the bridge can be made, even though you may not see it now. So take care of yourself. Get through your work week. Be diligent. And exercise self-care. It is important. So this was the Drive with Jackie. Take care. I'll see you later. We'll get another couch episode rolling tonight, and I promise the quality will be a little higher. So we'll keep working on that. And we're going to get one of our interviewees in soon. Take care of yourself. Know that I care. Bye.